Okay, but why you think on that a cool story that I think that the people would like that you share is your experience on the show Winning Time.
Oh yeah.
Now, that's a show a lot of people know, and while we were on the break, you told us kind of a little tidbit about it, and I definitely think that's something that people would like. So get into that. What happened with Winning Time?
So a couple years ago, before the show aired, I had just signed with a new manager. I was actually with 2 managers ago. I was with my first manager that I ever had, and it was down to me and one other person she was telling me for this role on this HBO show, and they were calling it Showtime at first. And this is super exciting for me. I'm like, this is a series regular. I'm about to change my fucking life. This is a basketball show. This is everything.
He said everything you wanted.
It's right down the pocket.
It's all perfect.
Hit this shit out the fucking park. And I had went in for the audition. It was actually one of the last auditions I've gone in for before COVID, and I haven't gone in for an in-person audition, I think, since this. But I had auditioned for this. They had put me out for like literally 3 roles. I went out for Magic. I went out for, I think it was Jim Price and Michael Cooper. And they loved me for Michael Cooper. I had auditioned for him, I think, twice at that point, maybe 3 times. And found out that I was going to be getting sent to producers. So that's super exciting. I'm thinking, okay, this is it. And a couple weeks go by, find out that I don't even, have a meeting with the producers when we call again to follow up about the meeting. And they're like, yeah, they said they think that they're probably going to go behind somebody that the network's getting behind.
Right.
And the casting director, Kathy, she loved me. We had a great experience every time that I spoke to her. She had asked me, she asked me so many questions that I thought she was going to offer me on the spot, because I'm like, you just feeling me for my social. I just felt her about to ask me for my social security next. Right. And it was like, damn, like to have something that felt so perfect for me, kind of slowly start to slip out of my hands. They told me, they would definitely keep me in mind for the next season or whatever, but I ended up finding out they gave the role to Michael Cooper's son. And it was real heartbreaking, because at the time I'm like, what happened? They told me I was the first option. 2 weeks went by, and it was like I couldn't have done nothing different. It was like, what was I supposed to do in that span? But I had actually, out of that situation, got signed with now my former manager, Robert Stein, and he found out that I was up for that role, and he was like, how the fuck are you up for one of the biggest roles in Hollywood and you don't even know anything about the project? Your manager hasn't told you this, And, that was kind of where me and him had connected. But, it ended up teaching me a lot, but also it was like not my first taste of having something like that happen, but it was also a reality check of like, you in the neighborhood. Like, it was just you and him, and he gave it to his son. How upset can you really be?
Right, exactly.
And a year after that to the day, Universal ended up booking me on Young Rock, and I played Michael Irvin. So
nice.
Congratulations.
For those who,
shout out to our boy for that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that was the blessing that ended up coming. It was like, it was delayed, but the experience that I got from Young Rock and the family that I got from that too, like I would never, because I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was on, Showtime either. Yeah. So, watching how it unfolded and seeing what I needed to learn and, learning more about the game and all of these things as a result of that, I'm grateful for it, So next season, they auditioning now, I'm not going to give you too many details on it, but they definitely have brought me back, and who knows, maybe y'all see me on season 2.
Hell yeah, hell yeah,
man. We're going to be on Winning Time.
On Winning Time.
Out there with them Lakers.
We're going
to see it and drink to it.
Yeah. A piece of advice I feel like could be very beneficial to those watching, right? Whether it relates to business, whether it relates to acting, anything, right? What do you tell yourself, and how do you deal with those moments where you gave it your best shot, you did your best, it didn't work out? What do you tell yourself to keep yourself going forward?
First, I cry in the car. I cry in the car first, and then.
Hey, shit, for real.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that.
Fuck it.
When you give your best, my biggest quote that I've always loved was, things turn out best for people who make the best out of the way things turn out.
That's I like that.
Best that we always can do.
Yeah.
You can't do better than your best. As long as you make sure you're doing your best, there's nothing for you to really regret at the end of the day. So when that happens, I try not to let myself beat myself up too much. Mental health has been something that I've been real adamant about the last few years of my life, because I've dealt with depression throughout my life. I've dealt with all kinds of things mentally that I didn't know were happening to me that I needed to get a hold on, because I realized like this shit can consume you if you don't take care of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I have really learned, like, you know, I'm real hard on myself. And realistically, I'm competing, and I don't like to even look at it as a competition because I'm only competing with myself.
Yeah.
Like I said, being the best version of me is what my goal always is. I ain't worried about what everybody else doing, because they're going to be the best versions of them. I'm going to be the best versions of me. What's meant for me is going to happen for me. What's meant for them is going to happen for them.
Right. You only can control what you can control.
Exactly. And I had, you know, was just looking at another quote recently. It was like, learn to let go of the things you can't control so you can control the things that you can't let go. Something that I can't let go of is knowing that I'm going to be a fucking movie star and that I'm an actor and that this is what I'm meant to do.
Right. Yeah.
What I can't control is who the fuck's going to book me on roles, and, you know, who's going to see me as this and see me as that.
Right.
What I can control, I can produce my own shit, so I start producing my own shit.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many different things and avenues that you can take, but you know, you just got to know what your end goal is. And like we were talking about earlier, have a plan. My plan is to figure out how I can utilize every aspect of who I am for that to be able to translate to people and it not be something that they even have to question. They can look at it and be like, that's our guy.
Right.
And whether I have to do that through producing stuff myself and showing them on my own, or by auditioning consistently and showing them, like, every time we send this motherfucking audition, this nigga
Comes with some
Killing
heat.
it.
with it.
Right.
It's like, and now we're going to hand them this opportunity, you know, or, you know, relationships.
Right.
You know, I use that gift that I talked about that I learned I have. I'm able to connect with people and I love people. So why not put myself in a position where people can see how hard I actually work and what I'm actually passionate about,
Right.
to want to give me that opportunity instead of me just sitting around expecting it to happen and being sad because it's not happening and all this shit that ain't in my control. It's like, no, fuck that. I'm going to just stay proactive, and when that happens, the universe and God start making room for you, and that shit just start coming to you.
Yeah.
No,
I feel
makes
that.
a lot of sense for sure.
Welcome, Nighthawks. We've been expecting you. The hour's late, but the party is just getting started. I'm Alistair Kovacs, your host for a sophisticated little